Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle one of the most important tenses in English, the present simple. I promise, by the end of this quick explainer, you're going to feel way more confident about using it. Sound good? Okay, let's jump right in.
So, here's what's on the menu today. First, we'll figure out what this tense is all about. Then, we'll get into the 4 key times you'll actually use it. After that, we'll look at how to put sentences together, tackle that tricky little S for spelling, and even cover how to say it so you sound like a natural. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with a quick summary. Easy!
All right, first things first, what even is the present simple? You know, the name is a little misleading because it's not always about what's happening right now. It's more about things that are always true or at least usually true.
Okay, take a look at these 2 sentences. We've got, the earth revolves around the sun, and then, I brush my teeth every morning. So what do they have in common? I mean, one's a huge scientific fact, right? The other is just a daily routine. Well, the connection is that they're both about things that are consistent. They're reliable. They're not just happening this one time. They just happen. That's the key. And boom, that right there is our main idea. The present simple is what we grab for things like routines, facts, situations that don't really change, and even schedules. Think of it as the tense for stuff that's stable and consistent. It's reliable.
Okay, so that's the what. Now for the really important part, the when. When do you actually pull this tense out of your toolbox? Well, there are 4 main situations, and once you get these, you're pretty much set.
So, here they are. Number 1, habits and routines. Number 2, facts and general truths. Number 3, permanent states. And number 4, which can be a little tricky, future scheduled events. Let's break each one down with an example so it makes total sense. First up, habits and routines. This is probably the one you'll use the most. It's for anything you do regularly. Think about it. You'll often hear it with words like always, sometimes, every day. So in the example, she plays tennis on weekends. It's not just happening this weekend. It's what she does. It's a routine. Next, we have facts and general truths. This one's easy. It's for things that are just true all the time, like scientific facts or things everyone knows. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. It's not up for debate, right? It was true 100 years ago, and it'll be true 100 years from now. Okay, number 3 is for what we call permanent states. These are situations that are long-term, things we don't expect to change anytime soon, like where you live or where you work. So when we say he lives in London, we're saying this is a stable part of his life. It's not like he's just visiting for a week. And last but not least, here's that little curveball I mentioned. Using the present simple to talk about the future. I know, it sounds weird, right? But we do it all the time for things that are on a fixed schedule, like a timetable. The train leaves at 8 a.m. Why don't we say will leave? Well, because it's on an official schedule, it's so certain that we treat it just like a fact. All right, so now we know when to use it. The next piece of the puzzle is how to actually build the sentences. Don't worry, there are some super simple formulas for positive statements, negative ones, and for asking questions. For positive sentences, it's honestly about as easy as it gets. For I, you, we, and they, you just use the verb as is, no changes. You learn English. Simple. The one, and I mean the one, thing you absolutely have to remember is for he, she, and it. For those 3, you gotta add an S to the verb. So she learns English. Now, to make a sentence negative, we need to call in a little helper verb, do. So for I, you, we, and they, we use do not, or more commonly, don't. You don't learn German. For our special friends he, she, and it, we use does not, or doesn't. But here's the super important part. Look at the main verb, learn. It goes back to the basic form. Why? Because the word does is already carrying that special S for us. You only need it once. And guess what? It's the exact same logic for questions. That helper verb, do or does, just slides right up to the front of the sentence. And again, this is key. The main verb stays in its simple base form. So you'd ask, do you learn English? Or does she learn English? Notice it's not does she learns. That's probably one of the most common slip-ups people make. Okay, so you've probably noticed a pattern here. That third-person singular, the he, she, it group, is where all the action is. It's where most of the mistakes happen. So let's zoom in on that and make sure you get the spelling of that final S right every single time. The good news is, for most verbs, you literally just slap an S on the end. Walk becomes walks. Run becomes runs. Easy. But this is English we're talking about, so of course, there are a few exceptions, but don't worry, they actually follow some pretty clear rules.
So here are the patterns. If a verb ends in one of those hissing or buzzing sounds, like S, SH, CH, X, or O, we add ES. Think watch becomes watches. And this isn't just a random rule. It's actually to make it easier to say. Try saying watches. It's awkward, right? Watches just flows better. Then you have verbs ending in Y. If there's a consonant before the Y, like in study, you change it to IES, studies. But if there's a vowel before the Y, like in play, you just add an S, plays.
Okay, let's take this to the next level. This is a real pro tip here. It's not just about spelling that S right, it's about saying it right. Seriously, getting this down will make your English sound so much more natural. Believe it or not, that little S you add can be pronounced in 3 different ways. It all comes down to the sound right before it. So if the sound before is unvoiced, like p, k, t, where your vocal cords don't vibrate, the S sounds like a sharp S, like airscaping, s, stops, walks. Now, if the sound before it is voiced, like b, d, g, where you can feel a vibration if you touch your throat, then the S sounds like a buzzing bee, z, robs, goes. And finally, for those hissing sounds we talked about earlier, we add a whole extra syllable, is, like the word is, misses, watches. Come on, let's practice this together. Say these out loud right now. First, the S sound. Coughs, attacks. Hear that clean hiss? Good. Now the Z sound. Put your hand on your throat. Crabs, loves. Feel that buzz? Perfect. And finally, the is sound with the extra syllable. Chances, watches. You hear it, right? It's that little extra beat. Seriously, practice these. It'll make a world of difference.
Ooh, okay. That was a whirlwind, but we've really covered all the big stuff. So let's just do a super quick review to make sure all these key ideas really stick in your brain.
If you remember nothing else, remember these 4 things. Rule number 1, use it for habits, facts, states, and schedules. Rule number 2, use do and does as your helpers to make things negative or ask a question. Rule number 3, always, always, always add that S for he, she, and it in positive sentences. And rule number 4, that S isn't just one sound, it's 3, S, Z, and is.
Okay, now it's over to you. The absolute best way to make this stick is to use it right away. So, right now, just say a sentence out loud about yourself using the present simple. It can be a fact about you, a habit you have, anything at all. Come on, give it a shot. You've got this.